Hello, I have here today the LEGO City set called Fire Rescue and Police Chase. This one has quite a mix of stuff with a large truck with a quadcopter on the back, motorcycle, car, a little bit of structure, street side space. It comes with 3 minifigures and a kitten. The kitten is a new mold for 2022. We've gotten this already in several colors. This is the dark orange, and I think that the print on all of them for the face is a little bit off, looks a little bit more like a dog print to me personally, but the mold is pretty perfect. The idea here, well, there are a few things that kind of combine together. This is like an electrical control box of some sort, and this is on the side of a road. You got the traffic light over here, and there can be a police chase going on that leads to a crash. The bad guy crashes into this, the traffic light gets knocked down and starts a fire over here. So you need to have a fire response to come put out the flame that's right here. And this is the simplest of mechanisms to put the fire out. It's actually attached to a thing, so it's not going to fall off the fire piece, but any sort of projectile can take this down. Anything, if you get a good hit on it, any of the water shooters that they have will just knock this down, and then that's the idea. You know, the fire has now been put out. You also got the kitten there who needs to be saved and taken back to their owner. He's got the missing kitten poster. That's part of a sticker, but there's also a printout this year for some other sets that matches that. Little graffiti there that's appropriate. The kitten is in this area because of the fish in the garbage can, and you also get a fire hydrant over here, so it all kind of connects together. This does not look good from around the back, but it needed to be left open to allow this some space to swing down, and this is easy enough to reset, especially if you're not doing it with one hand. But yeah, you put it back so it's not falling off. You know, it's not another thing that you need to store when it's not in play. And inside of this is some detail also. They did not need to put that in there, but they did to show you that it is indeed, you know, it's a place that has some electrical connections going through it. I'm assuming it would be high voltage, so you know, it just makes sense and adds a little extra flavor to the space. So the fire truck then is a large pickup truck. It does only hold a single person in the cab. This is a big sticker here, and it uses the vibrant yellow color that's new for 2022 as well. This looks like it should be able to go off-road decently well, and it also has some good ground clearance, so you can actually drive over carpeted areas without it getting stuck. There's an extra clip on the side to hold on to another minifig accessory. The opposite side had a fire extinguisher there. And on the back is this quadcopter, which can be controlled, assumedly, by the minifigure who drives in, take this around, and use it to put out the fire, because it is a firefighting quadcopter. You got the trigger on the back, which, you know, is not super obvious. It's not screaming at you, you need to use this. So I appreciate that it's a little bit more subtle. And then it just shoots out the little water splat piece, which I'll do it. Yeah, there we go. Managed to keep it from getting away from me. So it's just one of those. And yeah, that's another new mold for this year, but in the trans light blue to represent water splatter. And these here are actually prints on the sides there. It's one of the, I think it's the one print that they did for fire for this year. When you take that off, you're left with this hump in the middle of the bed for the truck, but you can easily just remove that. And then you have a little bit of actually normally usable space here. Inside the cab, meanwhile, is just a single centered seating position. And there is a printed console in the front with the steering wheel. The police motorcycle, meanwhile, is a very simple build. It just uses the most recent version of, or recent design of superbike style fairing, which is not my favorite. It doesn't have a lot of connection points on it other than just the one at the back. But the good thing here is that this is at least printed, so you don't have to put 2 awkward stickers onto this thing. I appreciate that very much, because those stickers, especially for younger kids, are just not shaped in the best way to promote success of getting the decorations on there well. This has on the back just the light and 2 clips to hold on to accessories. One of the accessories is right there, the handcuffs. This is the criminal's car. It's probably my personal favorite thing in the set. The overall shape of it just looks like a nice late 60s or early 70s American muscle car, and the color scheme is black and teal that goes together pretty well. Got kind of the suggestion of a rally stripe going through it. The build of this is not too complex. I appreciate the fastback, but I mostly appreciate the fact that this has storage space back here. It has a trunk. It has a boot. And there's some money in there, obviously, that of course has been stolen, but you know, that adds so much more value rather than just having the seat for somebody to sit in there. You know, being able to carry something around, I think, is valuable. And I like that the interior is done with tan. You know, this thing has some class, even though it is a very simple build. The colors are chosen well. It's a little bit flat in its shape, but that's because of the requirements of it being very easy to put together. It is built around a single chassis piece, but it's customized enough to be interesting and cool in my opinion. The firefighter on the left is named Bob from the Lego City Adventures TV show, or if you don't care about that show or the characters, you can call him whatever the heck you want, or don't give him a name at all, just be random firefighter. It's the second generation of Firefighting Helmet. The bright colors, the new vibrant yellow, and unfortunately you can see through that because it's a bit translucent and it doesn't work so well just quality wise, I think, in the dual molded situations like this, because you can clearly see where there's black through the thinner areas. He's holding a radio that has a print on it to represent controls for the Quadcopter, and the other two characters, as far as I know, don't have official names. From what I've seen, the police person is going to be operating the bike, of course, and thus they did include in the set, thankfully, alternate headgear piece. Rather, the hairpiece is the alternate, but I'm glad to have both either way. Decent looking figure overall. Only one face for that one. I forget if this one had one. Ah, yes, this one does have one. So only one has the alternate face. The printing on the back of the torso is a little bit smudged, as is the printing on that secondary face there, unfortunately. It's just not as crisp as it can be. You know, that one was done a little bit more quickly. The front is done a little bit better of the face, but the torso not so much. These are the extra pieces, including an intentionally spare extra water splat piece, and this is what the sticker sheet looked like. I paid $40 US, 40 for this, and that doesn't feel particularly good. However, I went through my usual exercise of adding up what I would expect each component, major component, to retail for, and I came to just a little below $35. I'm afraid. I don't think I was being too generous with that either, so I don't think this is too overpriced, but honestly, I would feel much better if it was at the $35 range, or maybe even a little bit lower than that, just for the total amount of stuff. Maybe I'm being a little bit unreasonable there, but that's just kind of how I feel. But the stuff that is here, I think, is designed well enough. Could have used maybe one more minifigure, although there's not a good place for an additional minifigure to go. Although if the truck had been designed to hold a second figure, then we could have done that. I don't know. Just something more. I feel like I would like to see just a little bit more from this set, or a lower price, one or the other. Otherwise, this is definitely my favorite thing here, probably followed by the green hair, followed by the kitten, and probably what I like least in the set is the biggest thing, the truck itself, because it's just kind of plain. I think it could have been smaller and accomplished the same goals. Let me know your thoughts if you have any down in the comments, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.